Have you ever met someone who seemed warm, friendly, even charming, but something about the interaction didn't sit right with you? Nothing obvious happened. They smiled, they complimented you, they said all the right things, and still something in you felt very off. If you have ever felt that and then talked yourself out of it, today's conversation is for you. Welcome to the Always On Mute podcast, where we know not everyone was born with a mic in their hand or a megaphone in their mouth, but we still have something to say because quiet is still a voice. Welcome to the Always On Mute podcast. I'm Antonia, and today I would like to talk about something that doesn't get named enough: the difference between authentic connection and performative connection. I am going to walk through 5 signals that often reveal the difference. Signals quiet people tend to notice first, but doubt the most. Because once you start recognizing these patterns, something shifts. Because when you see something, you cannot unsee it. You stop thinking you're imagining things. You realize you were observing the whole time. First, let's talk about what I mean when I say performative. I'm not talking about people who are shy or awkward or trying a little too hard because they genuinely want connection. That's just being human. Performative behavior is something different. It's when connection becomes more about managing perception than actually connecting. The warmth looks right, the enthusiasm sounds right, but something underneath it feels slightly staged. Authentic connection feels different. It's slower, less polished. Sometimes there's silence and nobody rushes to fill it. Sometimes there's disagreement and it doesn't feel like rejection. There's a kind of ease that doesn't require either person to perform themselves. I remember working with someone years ago who was very magnetic. Very magnetic. In meetings, they had big laughter, public praise, very affirming. And when it was the two of us in a hallway, they were flat. Not rude, just dimmed. And I kept telling myself that I was imagining it because technically nothing was wrong, but something wasn't right either. Something felt very fake. And I've seen another version of this too. I have been around people, different type of people, who laugh very hard right in someone's face. Big smile, big energy. And the moment that person walks away, the smile drops, eyes roll, side eye, posture change, face completely muted. The shift is subtle, but you feel it. And when you notice that enough times, you realize something important. Warmth that disappears when the audience disappears probably wasn't warmth in the first place. Performative connection makes you feel momentarily chosen. Authentic connection makes you feel consistently safe. And those are not the same thing. Now let's talk about the signals. There are 5 signals that I've noticed over the years that tend to reveal when connection is real and when it's performance. Signal number 1, warmth with an on-off switch. Authentic warmth is fairly consistent. It doesn't require witnesses. You feel it in the quiet moments just as much as you do in public ones. Performative warmth often brightens when there's an audience and dims when there isn't. If someone treats you one way in public and another way in private, pay attention to that difference. That contrast is information. Signal number 2, vulnerability that costs nothing. You know when someone shares a story that sounds vulnerable, but somehow feels rehearsed? It lands perfectly. It earns admiration. But afterward, you don't feel closer to them. Real vulnerability is awkward sometimes, messy sometimes, incomplete sometimes. Performed vulnerability creates admiration. Real vulnerability creates intimacy. Those are different, 2 totally different things. Signal number 3, energy mirroring. Some people are very good at becoming whoever you need them to be. I'm sure that you come across people like that. They mirror your opinions, they reflect your values, they agree with you constantly. And at first that feels amazing, because who doesn't want to feel understood? But eventually you notice something. You don't actually know who they are. Every time you try to locate their real opinion, it redirects back to you. Authentic people disagree with you sometimes, and they have preferences that do not align with yours. That friction isn't conflict. It's evidence of a real person. Signal number 4, the after effect. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with someone. Introverts naturally get tired after socializing. That's normal for them. But there's a difference between being pleasantly tired after meaningful connection and feeling strangely hollow after a long interaction. When connection is performative, it can feel like we're both on a stage. Conversation happened, but guess what? Connection didn't. Notice the quality of your tiredness. It tells you more than the conversation itself. Signal number 5. They always tell you what you want to hear, or at least what they think you want to hear. Constant agreement, constant validation. At first it feels very supportive, but real support includes honesty. Someone who genuinely cares about you will sometimes say something that's uncomfortable, not to hurt you, but because they're invested in your growth. If someone has never, not once, disagreed with you, challenged you, or offered a different perspective, they might be managing the relationship rather than participating in it. Now, here's a part that gets more complicated. Quiet people often notice these signs very early, but we don't always trust ourselves. If you were the observant kid growing up, the quiet one, the thoughtful one, the one who probably were told at some point that you were too sensitive, or that you read too much into things, over time that message trained you to doubt your perception. So when you notice something subtle, you immediately override it. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm overreacting, maybe I'm overthinking, maybe it's just me. Sometimes that voice is helpful, but when it becomes automatic, it turns into self-distrust. And quiet people carry that quietly for years. There's another layer to this conversation though, because it's easy to talk about performative behavior in other people, but where are we performing ourselves? There were seasons when my quietness was absolutely a performance. Not loud performance, but curated. The thoughtful one, the measured one, the one who only speaks when she had something profound to say. Sometimes I wasn't being mysterious. I was just being guarded. Sometimes I wasn't being deep. I was just being careful. And sometimes silence wasn't wisdom. It was self-protection. That realization was uncomfortable, but it was also freeing, because it meant I could choose differently. So here's what I want to leave you with today. Your perception is not a flaw. It's pattern recognition built over years. You do not have to turn it into accusation. You do not have to turn it into paranoia. But you also don't have to listen to silence. But you also don't have to silence it. Trust your first read. Not a verdict, but as a starting point. Watch patterns, move slowly, protect your energy without needing to explain yourself. Quiet people are not naive. We're observant. And when we stop apologizing for that, everything shifts. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope that this resonates. Please share this with someone who can use it. Comment below and let me know the signals that you resonate with. Also, like the video. And if you're not subscribed as yet, please consider subscribing. Until next time, stay muted and stay mighty.